What's up, guys? We are doing another live look in here at the scouting and joining phase. This is War 3. We are up against New Avengers 2, 211. I've already assigned paths, of course, but they are running the Stubborn Global again. They're running it. This is our second war in a row dealing with it. I'm going to be on path 2 in section 1. I've got this Captain Marvel on Strike Counter Fury, Brute Force, and Power Focus 1. Power Focus 1 is actually going to help me. That'll keep her basically at a bar of power. Um, and after she gets to a bar of power, then she's going to gain power with 80% defensive power gain rate, which is great. So she'll just stay at 1 bar. Don't have to worry about that dangerous SP2 that she's got. And then in section 2, I'm going to be on path 3. I'm also going to be taking this Sorcerer Supreme with EMP modification. I'm going to be using Dr. Doom for that one, same as for Captain Marvel movie. He's immune to shock, which is great. Don't have to worry about that. So that node is pretty much negated. However, Sorcerer Supreme is a stubborn defender, so I'll have to be careful of that. And if they have Mystic Dispersion, then I just need to play it carefully. And then path 3 here. This is the Armor Thorns path. So if the defender has an armor up buff, the attacker is inflicted with a bleed debuff. The bleed debuff is really strong here, and Colossus is stubborn, so you can't bypass this with Quake. And of course, he is immune to armor break. Corvus would not do well here. We actually placed Colossus on this very same node. I'm going to be bringing Clairvoyant for this fight. He is bleed immune. Clairvoyant starts in bleed immune phase, and every time she would inflict a debuff that the defender is immune to, then she's going to gain Clairvoyance charges, and every time she has a Clairvoyance charge, she can nullify defender buffs. So that should be super, super easy. She'll just nullify all of his armor buffs, and then I can just start inflicting bleed debuffs to gain power. I can get off an L2, which is going to inflict a buff immunity on him, so we won't even be able to gain any armors at that point. So that'll be a very, very easy fight. And then here I've got Venom. He is stubborn also, and it's got explosive personality. I'm not sure who I'm going to use yet, but if I do decide to use Clairvoyant, I don't have to worry about the thorns here. And, she and Doom are both great for this because they can both nullify the armors that they get from explosive personality. So I'll probably use Doom just because he's so tanky. That'll give me a lot more margin for error. And that is all that I'm slated for this war. Hopefully backup is not needed where I've got to go in and kind of hopelessly throw my champs at a defender that I know that I'm not going to be able to kill. All right, so let's join up. And again, we're going in with Doom and Claire. It looks like my 5-star Claire is in a quest right now. I was going to use my 6-star Claire anyway. And then I'll also be bringing Nick Fury. Oh, okay. I'll show you why. So I'm also bringing Nick Fury because, unfortunately, I am slotted for a mini-boss. Let me use my energy here. I'll just park it until I'm full on energy. And I'll be taking this Thing mini-boss over here with Fury. It's got Stunning Reflection. So I'm going to try not to parry him at all in that fight, but it's the only fight that I'm going to be using Nick Fury for, so If I do parry him, once I get to real Nick mode, lose my life model decoy, I'll be stun immune, and I'll also have a lot of damage. I'm not going to be gaining any power, however, in this fight. So I just need to manage his rock stacks with Nick Fury's bleed. So it should be fine. I think that in general, Nick Fury is a good matchup for Thing if you can't use, one of the top counters like Quake. So that is it. And I will see you in the fights. All right, we've got our Captain Marvel movie here. Going to be using Big Bag Doom. And this fight should be very, very, very easy with Dr. Doom. She is going to build up binary charges pretty quickly. And once I knock her down, once she has at least 15, then she's going to go binary. And I can end that by using a special attack, but I wanted to save my special attack for a killing blow. It actually might have killed her, and then I took an unblockable L1 to the face, but Dr. Doom doesn't really care about that stuff. So she is down, and it does look like that L2 would have killed her if I launched it earlier in the fight. But here we've got a Sorcerer Supreme. This is EMP modification. So every time I gain a buff, there's a shock charge basically that's passive that just sits dormant. And then when she throws a special, the attacker would be shocked. Doom, of course, is immune to shock. So again, he doesn't really care about that stuff. She does have the nullification aura up. This is really the only dangerous thing, I think, about fighting Sorcerer Supreme. If you trigger Dexterity, for example, and the defender is running max Mystic Dispersion, then sometimes that can, that can cause some issues there with her power control. But that's why I was blocking. Also got the perfect block chance because Doom benefits from Stubborn as an attacker and defender, of course. So this fight is very, very, very straightforward with Dr. Doom. Just control power and, while she's got nullification aura up, try not to trigger any buffs just in case of Mystic Dispersion. I don't even think at any point in this fight I figured out if she did have Mystic Dispersion. It just kind of doesn't matter if you're playing it right, I think. So, and of course, while I have the Aura of Hazareth active, my Special 1 and my Special 2 won't give any power. The small power gain that she's getting is just from her native abilities. But yeah, this Dr. Doom is really great for this node because of his shock immunity. I would recommend placing somebody that's not a good matchup for Dr. Doom, but I know that those champs are few and far between, and they're usually better placed elsewhere. So this next fight is the Armor Thorns node. If the defender has an active armor and you touch them, you will get bled. So I'm going to use Claire. I think that she's actually the best matchup. The second half of this fight I'm going to have sped up because it's a very long fight, but a very simple one. Basically with Claire, if you guys are unfamiliar, anytime you would inflict the defender with a debuff they're immune to, or anytime you would be inflicted with a debuff you're immune to, you're going to gain Clairvoyance charges. And then also on your L2, you're going to inflict a buff immunity so that the defender cannot gain any buffs during that time period. So basically in this fight, the other thing is while you have at least one Clairvoyance charge, you are going to expend that charge to nullify a defender buff on basic attacks. And then when you do inflict somebody with something they're immune to, you gain a bunch of power. So, Claire is a top champ in my opinion. She is really good. She hasn't had a ton of use in war over the last couple seasons, but on this path, I think that she's definitely the best, especially for people like Colossus, who are Corvus traps. But yeah, she just totally wrecks that fight. And then, oh shit, it looks like, so the Venom fight did not record, but that was an easy solo with Doom. Alright, so here I've got this Thing, on stun reflection and polka dot power. All that means is I'm going to be using Nick Fury. On paper, we thought that this would be a good matchup. You guys will see that it is probably not. But I also thought that I would be super cute and remove the parry mastery altogether so that I could block, reduce damage, and not have to worry about stunning him. And as you can see, with Nick Fury's bleed, I'm just not able to control his power. And I don't even know I didn't go in there. I think just because he's almost at 2 bars of power there. But once I get stuck in the corner, the fight is basically over because I don't have any dexterity on. And I mean, you guys are going to see that this is basically how the fight is going to go. Here he throws his L3. This is actually good for me because I wanted him to throw the L3 before I lost my life model decoy. That'll kind of reset us and put us towards the middle of the screen again, give me a little bit extra spacing. I thought it was good for me, I should correct myself. But of course, after his L3, he gets unblockable and unstoppable. And yeah, basically the moment that that I got cornered, this fight was over. Without dexterity, I have no chance of evading his specials or his heavy. It was just an oversight. It was just a bad decision. I knew that it would be risky, but I thought that it was smart, and it just backfired miserably. So don't do that. And I would just recommend simply not using Nick Fury here. But okay, so I add back in the masteries. I am stun immune at this point. I didn't heal up much because I'm just going to degen down to 29% anyway. But this attempt goes a lot better. Again, though, Nick Fury, he's not a bad option for Thing. But I don't have enough experience using his basic attacks to control Thing's rock stacks. Like, I would straight up prefer somebody that has no bleed so that I can properly count his rock stacks and manage that, or even Killmonger. Killmonger is, I think, really good for Thing, and I thought about bringing him, but yeah, I don't know. So this fight is going to go a little bit better. I do have dexterity, so if I get cornered, hope is not completely lost. But I really need him to throw his L1. There he does. I get a nice evade on the L1. And here I get knocked all the way down to 2%. And you guys are going to see here in a second. So I have, he's got indestructible on him, which means that I have to take a blocked hit. And obviously I'm super low on health, but Nick Fury is a stubborn defender, or I'm sorry, attacker as well as defender. So I actually get off that perfect block chance, which is super fortunate. And I mean, you know, at this point he's only at 50%. I'm at 1%. If I trigger stubborn again, the fight is pretty much over. But you guys are going to see here, I'm actually able to get him down even further. I'm playing super aggressive at this point because, of course, I'm basically in desperation mode. But yeah, I mean, that was it. Not a good idea. I think Omega Red is clearly the best counter for Thing on that node. And live and learn, man. I mean, I've not been great this season, but we're learning, and it'll just help us get better for the future. So here are the cards for this war. We've got Strands with the silver. The rookie Lizer in my battle group. Very proud of her. She's been amazing this season. Check out her YouTube channel. I'll have it linked below. And then the Templars card, J-Dam, one of the founding officers in 4 Loki. So that is the war. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and a comment for me, and I will see you in the next one.